I'm going to get started right away, but if you hear any noises, it could just be someone trying to get in. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. If you hear any doorbells ringing and things like that. Hope everyone can hear me clearly. I've got a new mic here, so see if that works better. We're going to get started on our backs today. So let's come on down onto your back in Shavasana. So just lying down. Make sure you're comfortable. You can have a pillow under the knees, a blanket under the head, and just come on down onto your back. Close your eyes and relax your limbs. Belly soft. And we're just taking a moment here at the start of our class to prepare our minds and bodies for yoga. So it just takes a moment to let go of the rest of the day. And we just begin by focusing on breath. Breath flowing in and out through the nose. Deeper inhales and longer exhales. And with your next exhale, soften your facial features. Relax the skin around your eyes, your jaw, and your cheeks. And feel your shoulders soften as well. Feel the shoulder blades melt down the back as your arms and legs grow heavier. Allow the belly to relax as you let go of the tensions of the day. Relax your glutes and feel your thighs and calves soften. And hands and fingers relax as well. And just taking a few more breaths here. As the body begins to relax, allow the mind to settle. Let's put aside everything else. And with relaxed body and relaxed mind, take that one more inhale in through the nose. And a soft sigh, exhale out through the mouth. Okay. All right, still in the back here, we'll begin by waking up the body with some small movements. Fingers, your toes, and your wrists and ankles. Roll the wrists and ankles in one direction, firing up those muscles and switch directions. And then relax your limbs, relax the hands and the feet, and let the head drop towards one shoulder, chin towards one shoulder, and then back to center, and then to the other shoulder, side to side. Just kind of waking up the shoulders and the neck. Good. And then take the inhale to come back to the center. Slide your feet in a little closer towards the body so that your feet are flat on the ground and the knees are pointed up towards the ceiling. Your feet are about hips width apart. And then as you exhale, let both knees drop towards one side. With your next inhale, draw back to the center, and then exhale, let the knees drop to the other side. Moving with the breath, inhale to center, exhale over to the other side. And as you let your knees drop to one side, you can turn your gaze to the opposite side as well. Inhale to center, exhale, other side. A couple more. And then return back to the center, back to the middle. Gather your knees in for a hug. Knees in, holding onto your knees or your shin. Rock the knees side to side. And then draw circles with those knees. Knees together, draw circles. Small circles in one direction. And then switch directions. And coming back to the middle, gather your knees in for a hug. Squeeze tight, kick yourself into a tight ball, maybe even lifting the shoulders and head off the floor. And then release and stretch your hands and feet in the opposite direction. Find some length. With your inhale, stretch a little bit more, reaching fingers away from the toes. And then as you exhale, just simply relax and let the body relax onto the mat. Again, inhale, reach. And then exhale to relax. One more time. A big reach. And then release. Bring your hands back by your sides and then walk your feet in back a little closer towards the hips. Feet above hips width apart, knees pointed towards the ceiling. Press down into the feet to pick the hips off the mat, coming into bridge pose. Try to keep the thighs parallel to one another. Push down into your big toes. If you need to grab a hold of the edges of the mat for stability, you can do that as well. Hold it here, one more breath. And then release and roll the spine all the way back down onto the mat, tailbone down last. And we're going to move with the breath now. Push down into the feet, exhale to pick the hips off the mat. And then inhale, roll the spine down onto the mat. Again. And roll it down. You can add arms as well if you like. As you lift the hips off the mat, reach the arms overhead, arms all the way behind you, overhead, and all the way back down. Lower the hips, arms back to that first position. Keep going at your own pace. With the breath. Last one. Feel it and release. Come all the way back down onto the ground. Let the knees drop towards one another for a moment. Relax the belly. Allow the shoulders to soften. Face relax as well. And allow the knees to draw apart from one another. And we're going to gather the right knee into the chest and straighten out that left leg on the mat. If possible, if that's too hard to do, you can keep that left knee slightly bent. Let's warm up the right hip joint by moving the entire right leg in small circles. So go as slowly as you need to go. You just want to feel that joint start to loosen up and warm up. And then switch directions. Okay. Coming back to the center, we're still working with that same knee bend. We're letting that knee open up, and you can support the weight of that right leg with your right hand, just bracing underneath. Or you can just let it hang. Maybe the weight will deepen the stretch for you. Try to keep both hips on the ground. You just want to start to get a little bit of a stretch to the inside of that right thigh. Hold it here for a few breaths. Deep inhales. Slow exhales. And one more. Good. As you inhale, draw that right knee back to the center. Still working with that right knee. We're going to twist the spine by using your left hand, the opposite hand, to guide that right knee over to the opposite side. So you'll feel your right hip lift off the mat a little. And just keeping that right shoulder on the ground. A gentle twist will do here. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Again, deep connection with the breath. One more. Unwind the spine. Come on back to the center. That right leg, straighten it up towards the ceiling. You can hold onto the back of the right thigh or walk the hand up a little further up that leg. Make sure both legs are extended strongly, especially if you have that bottom leg straight as well. Press both heels away from you to engage the legs. Only if you want more, a little bit more of a hamstring stretch, perhaps walking the hands up that right leg, lifting the shoulders and head off the mat. Slow and steady breath. One more. Walk the hands down that leg, head down. Slide that left foot in and prop your right ankle on top of your left thigh, coming into that figure four hip stretch. You can stay right here, not a problem. If you're feeling the stretch, just stay there. If you want a little bit more, you're welcome to lift that left foot off the ground, just like that will do, or wrap your hands around the back of your left thigh. Deepens the stretch. Hold it here. Upper body should be quite relaxed, head still on the ground. So hold it, breath flowing. Take that one more deep breath, making it good, a good deep breath. Long exhale. Okay, lower the left foot down onto the mat. Release that right foot down as well. And before we move on to the other side, some intuitive movements, whether it's just windshield wipers, hugging the knees in, or straightening the legs out. So whatever feels right for you. And then we will move on to the other side. So the left knee in, and an option to straighten out that right leg on the mat. And we'll begin to warm up the left hip joint this time. Small circles with the entire left leg. And it doesn't have to be very big as long as we're moving and warming up that joint. It's normal to hear some creaks and cracks too. And let's switch directions. All right, come on back to the center. So with the left knee bend, we'll simply let the left knee open up, doing your best to keep both hips even on the ground. So right hip wants to pop off, and just trying to keep it there. You can brace and protect give that leg a little bit of a boost with the hand under the knee, if you like, under the left knee. And hold it here. Get one more deep breath. Okay, carefully bring that back to the center, and then let's take it into the twist. Right hand on the outside of the left thigh again. The twist of the spine by letting that left knee draw over to the right side, the left hip lifts slightly off the ground. We'll hold it here. And keep that left shoulder on the ground. It wants to pop off. Use the weight of the left arm to keep the left shoulder down. Okay, so one more. All right, unwind your way back to the center. And let's stretch that left leg up towards the ceiling and just hanging on to the back of the left leg, wherever you can hang on to it. And a little stronger with both legs. If you can, press the heels away from you. Legs are engaged, nice and strong. Good. Option, walk your hands up that left leg, shoulders and head lifts off the mat. We'll hold it here. One more. Looks nice. Walk the hands down that leg and then slide that right foot that's on the ground. Slide it in a little closer towards the hip so that you can prop that left ankle on the right thigh. And right here we'll do, if you're feeling that stretch to the left hip, stay here. Need a little bit more, lift that right foot off the ground. Even more, wrap your hands around the leg that's further away from you. Hug in and breathe. Use those exhales to find softness, find relaxation with each exhale. One more. And release, lower the right foot down and then the left as well. And then let's take some windshield wipers or knees in for a hug. Let's stretch those legs again. Quite intuitive here. Listen to the body and see what it needs. Now we'll make our way into seated next. So we'll be rolling over to one side and pressing up into a comfortable seated position. So if you have a blanket handy or a pillow and you want to sit up a little higher so that you give yourself a little boost so that the spine is not so rounded, you can simply do that. Come into easy pose with one shin in front of the other. If that's hard for you to do, you can stretch those legs out or maybe come into cobblers with blocks under the knees or pillows under the knees. It is okay to come into easy pose, one shin in front of the other, sitting nice and tall, shoulders sit back and down in a comfortable position, and then chin level to the ground, eyes closing for a moment, belly in, try to sit a little taller. If you want to do this with your eyes closed, just listening to the cue, you can do that as well. So we're going to take it into a circle, upper body circle, lean forward, and then roll the body over to one side, take it back, and all the way around. Such a good warm up for the entire upper body, into the hips, shoulders, the spine, the shoulders, the neck. Let's switch directions. And then coming back to seated upright. Take the palms out to your sides with the palms up, and then with the inhale, reach your arms overhead to find lots of length. And as you exhale, twist over to one side and let those arms relax down, touch, and inhale up, and then exhale with the breath. Inhale, center, arms overhead, exhale. Again. Keep going. Inhale, center, exhale. When you come back to the first side, hold it there. Maybe your left hand is to the outside of the opposite leg. The soft gaze over the shoulder. Try to sit tall without leaning too much into that back hand. One more. As you unwind back to the center, reach your arms overhead, and then exhale to twist other side. Inhale, lots of length to the spine. Exhale, soft gaze over the back shoulder. And unwind, come on back to the center. Switch those legs around. The other shin is ahead. Yeah, a little bit more movement here. Let's start off with one hand on the ground and reach the other hand up and over. And sweep it in front of you, drawing a semicircle in front of you. Nice sweep. The hand down, reach the other arm up and over. Reach forward. Take it over into that side stretch. Draw that semicircle out in front of you. The side stretch. And the semicircle. And one more on each side. Side stretch. And a semicircle. Okay, come back to that first side and let's hold it here a little longer. That hand that's on the ground, push into it so that the opposite hips press down into the floor, and then find a little bit more space to the extended side and hold it here. Keep breathing a slow and steady breath. One more. And inhale, come on back up. Let's do the other side. Hand that's on the ground, push into it so that the opposite hip is grounded. And then look for space to the opposite side. One more breath here. Good. Inhale, come on back to the middle. Okay, roll your shoulders up towards the ears. Roll the shoulders back, down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you come down. A little bit more deliberately. Inhale, up, back, squeeze, and down again. Up, back, squeeze, and down. And let's take it into a back bend this time. One more shoulder roll, and then place your fingertips on the ground. And think of this as a front stretch. So chest up, chin lifts up slightly, enough to feel the stretch of the neck as well. Keep projecting the chest up towards the ceiling. But for just a little bit more space, the abs feeling the stretch, chest, neck. One more. Okay, and let's release that. And then just a little bit of shoulder roll counter. So roll it opposite direction, squeeze it up and forward. And then we'll do it a few more times like this, just on your own, at your own pace. And then getting ready in a moment to come onto our hands and knees. So if you want to grab a quick sip of water before we do that, please, a little quick break here. As we come onto our hands and knees, if your mat's a little thin, if you're hardwood like me, it might be nice to protect the knees a little with a blanket. So we're moving into tabletop pose. And we're coming into our cat and cow. So pushing down into your hands to arch the spine, chin tucking in. Feeling those shoulder blades spread out wide. And next inhale, allow the belly to drop. Chest draws through those arms. Lift your chin slightly. Moving with the breath. Exhale. Push into the floor. Arch the spine. Cat pose. Inhale. Belly drops. Chin lifts. Okay, on your own here, about 3 more. Move with the breath. And the last one. And then coming back to that tabletop, tuck your toes under, toes tucked under for a feet stretch. Walk your hands forward, and then let the head drop in between the arms. So if you're pretty tight in the shoulders, it might just be a slight drop. Looking for a longer spine. If you're pretty open in the shoulders, you may be able to melt the chest towards the ground, puppy pose. So let's find whatever gives you the best stretch here. We'll hold it here for 3 more. 2 more deep breaths. Slow exhales. 1 more. All right. Let's point those toes, walk the hands in, and take the knees out a little wider for white knee child's pose. The hips sink back towards those heels. Come into your child's pose. Head resting on the ground or on your stacked forearms. You can stay right here as you are, or come into a side stretch in child's pose. So in your child's pose, simply walk your hands over to one side, chest still facing the ground. You're going to come on back to the center, walk it over to the other side. And come on back to the middle, back the center, and then we'll come back up into tabletop. Okay, so let's do some core, working to stabilize the core in our bird dog pose or Superman pose. Okay, so knees, make sure they are stacked under the hips, wrists stacked under the shoulders, that spread to those fingers. We'll take the right leg and stretch it back about hip height. It doesn't have to be higher than that. Toes pointed down towards the ground. And just do your best to keep the hips and shoulders level to the ground. You can stay with both hands on the ground or stretch the opposite arm forward, the left arm forward. So gaze is to the ground, just slightly ahead of the hand so that the neck is nice and long. There shouldn't be creases in the back of the neck here. Let's hold it here for a couple more deep breaths. Good, one more. Nice. Lower the left hand down to the ground and simply lower that right foot down with the toes tucked under, right leg straight, and push that heel back. You can get a stretch of the calf, the back of that right leg, calf, and hamstrings perhaps. Stay here one more breath. Okay, return back to your tabletop. Let's do the other side. Take the opposite leg, your left leg, stretch it back about hip height, toes pointed down. Again, stay right here with both hands on the ground, or reach that right arm forward, your choice. One more. Right hand comes down, left leg. Keep it straight as you lower the left toes down on the ground, tucked under, and then push that heel back. You have to feel the stretch of the calf. And release. Come on back to that tabletop. Okay, let's make our way on into low plank pose, a little bit more work for the core. So for this one, you're coming down to your forearms, okay? And walking your knees back enough to make sure that you're engaging your core. So we interlace fingers, create that triangle shape with elbows are stacked on the shoulders. Okay, so right here, if you're feeling it, stay right here. If you need a little bit more, we are picking the knees off the mat. And then you'll notice my hips are not too high or not sagging too much. It creates too much pressure on the low back. So it's a straight line from the heel towards the crown of the head. And anytime you need to take a break, knees down. Let's hold it here a couple more. One more. All right, knees down. Come into Sphinx pose here. So for this one, if you want to remove your blanket under the hips, go for it, or shift it slightly forward. But we're coming into Sphinx pose. You're on your forearms, propped up on your forearms with the elbows under the shoulders. Toes are pointed back. Dragging slightly into the forearms to pull the chest forward, belly button forward. If this feels too much, you can walk your hands a little further ahead so that more of your belly is on the ground. Too much still, you can keep going, all right? Try to get a little bit of a stretch to the front of the body. So we are drawing the chest forward, feeling the belly button inch forward. Let's take a couple more deep breaths. And then release, coming all the way down to the ground. Bring one cheek down to the mat. Shift your hips a little side to side, or pick your feet off the mat and let the feet sway side to side. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do a little flow for the back. And we can do this with the arms pretty close to the body, just slightly under the shoulders. That's a little easier. And the more you walk your hands out, the harder it gets, okay? So we're going to do this 5 of these. Feet are about hips width apart with the toes pointed straight back. Get rid of that so you can see. Okay. Toes pointed straight back, head on the ground. Again, hands by your side, a little easier. So as you exhale, pick just the upper body off the ground. Shoelace part of the feet press firmly into the ground, and your fingertips are barely touching the ground if possible, lifting up, and then coming all the way back down. Exhale to pick up, lift, and then coming all the way back down. 3 more. All the way down. 2. 1 more. Yes, come all the way back down. Bring one cheek down into the mat. Let yourself melt into your space. Again, little hips shifting side to side, or windshield wipers with the feet. Good. Coming back to the center. Hands by your chest so that you can safely push up into your tabletop. You can stay in tabletop here, just stretching those legs out. If downward facing dog is part of your practice, let's come into downward facing dog, that inverted V shape. Looking for a long spine, knees can be slightly bent here. You want to walk it out a little, straighten one leg and then the other. Should feel quite nice. Again, don't have to come into down dog today if that's not for you. Stay in tabletop. Let's make our way into forward bend. Walk your hands in and walk your feet forward. Rising, standing forward fold. Knees can be bent, upper body relaxed forward, a little bit of movement. Rolling out the shoulders, moving the head gently, swaying the body side to side. Making our way up to standing next. Bend your knees, come all the way up to standing. Adjustments here, and then we'll begin some half consultations so that we can move the body around a little. Let's start with the feet, about hips width apart. Hips spread to the toes, belly in, hands in prayer, shoulders relaxed. And with your inhale, reach your arms overhead, let the palms touch briefly. As you exhale, straight legs and long spine, fold, come into forward bend. Next inhale, lift up halfway. Think of a figure 7 shape, hands on your shin or your thigh. And then exhale, fold again, forward bend. Inhale, come all the way up. I like with the knees bent, back flat, all the way up. Let the palms touch. Give you a gentle back bend at the very top, and then hands back in. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to fold, forward bend. Inhale, wave up halfway, flat back. Exhale to fold, and inhale all the way back up. Exhale, hands back in prayer. Adding on, inhale, reach your arms overhead, interlace fingers, pointed index fingers, reaching tall. Exhale over to one side, hips to the other side. Create that crescent shape, that half moon shape. One more, looking for just a little bit more space. And then inhale back to the center, exhale, other side. One more. Inhale, come on back to the center, release the hands and fold, come into forward bend. Next, inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale to fold again, and inhale, coming all the way back up. Gentle back bend, and exhale, back to the start, hands in prayer. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Interlace all your fingers and press the palms up towards the ceiling. Nice long spine. Exhale over to one side, doesn't matter which side. Inhale, come on back to the center. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale, come on back to the center, release the hands and interlace the fingers behind you, squeezing the arms together, maybe lifting the hands off the hips. If you have that strap handy, if you have a hard time interlacing the fingers, grab a hold of the strap. Nice lift, chest lifting, chin slightly lifted as well. One more. Okay, let's take it into that forward bend with or without the straps. With those hands down, knees can be soft, pressing the hands away from the hips. One more breath. And release the hands down onto the mat. Let go. Next, inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale to fold, forward bend. And inhale, lift all the way back up. Gentle back bend. And exhale, hands in prayer. Okay. Grab a hold of the strap and we'll add on with the strap. Okay. So holding on to the strap, we're going to working one shoulder joint. So let's say the right arm. So I'm not sure how the left and right shows up on the screen, but right arm, lift it up overhead and all the way back. And the other hand is just there to help hold the strap. Okay, lift it up and then back, up and then forward. Okay, keep going. Up and forward. One more. And to the front. Let's do the same thing to the other side. Against that shoulder joint that we're working, lift it up and one, up and forward. Keep going. And it's pretty normal to feel a little bit of crunchiness there too. A little cracking. Okay, let's do one more. And then we're coming back to the front. And then your straps are in front of you, holding on to quite loosely enough so that you can reach your arms overhead and take it back until you feel a good stretch to the front of the shoulders. So if it feels too much, just lengthen the strap. Okay, nice and flat, strong core. So you're squeezing the belly in. We're going to rotate over to one side, just holding the strap there. If your shoulders have squeezed up towards the ears, just kind of let them relax back to a neutral position. Take one more breath here. And then unwind back to the center, other side. One more. And then unwind back to the center, back to the middle. And then we can release the straps. No one needed for now. Let's put it off to the side again. Let's roll out the shoulders, shake it off. Let's take an inhale to stretch the arms overhead. Exhale to full forward bend. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold again. And then inhale, coming all the way back up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Okay. For our balance pose today, we're doing a warrior 3 pose. And we're starting off with our weaker leg. So if you're right-handed, typically your left leg, you'll have a harder time balancing it. So let's focus on the weaker side first. So that for me, it's my left leg. So today we're bringing our hands into prayer and finding a spot to focus on ahead of you that's not moving. So that's our drishti, our gaze. We're keeping our gaze steady. And we're stepping that left foot forward like you're taking a stride and squeezing the belly in, bringing most or if not all of your weight into that front leg. And then the back one, if your balance is a little off today, you can keep those toes barely touching the ground for just a little support. If you're okay to lift that right leg off the mat and go up as high as comfortable for you, keeping a straight line from the heel towards the crown of the head. And stretching your arms out like wings may help, or you can reach your arms forward, coming into warrior three pose. And one more. Wherever you are, you try to come back to standing with control. Soften the shoulders, relax the face. Let's do one half salutation here before we move on. You can inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold again. And inhale all the way back up. And exhale, hands in prayer. Strongest side. Let's find our gaze, our spot to focus on. Hands in prayer. Take a step forward with the opposite leg that you've done already. So for me, it will be the right foot stepping forward and just moving slowly, no rush to get there. Perhaps extending the arms like wings or stretching those arms forward or just keeping those hands in prayer. And last one, slowly do your best to slowly return back to standing with control, hands in prayer. Let's take that inhale to stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward bend. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, folding again. And inhale, bring all the way back up. And exhale, hands in prayer. Good. Let's grab a quick sip of water here if you need it, and then we'll keep going. We're coming into onto the floor. So if you want to grab a hold of your blanket or your pillow again for the hips to sit on, set it up. Have your strap close to you too in case you need it for one of our arm stretches. Okay? So sitting nice and tall, we're taking our legs out in front of us first, with both legs out, toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Okay? Take an inhale to reach the arms overhead, and then leaning forward, lower your hands down to wherever is comfortable for you. If you're having a hard time sitting up, just hands by your side to keep in a good L shape. Do that. If you're okay to lean a little further forward, do that as well. Try to keep the spine long. So you're looking for that acute angle with the spine straight and the legs straight as well. Straps are really helpful. You can loop it around the feet with the arms straight, and it helps with the stretch. Okay? So focusing on the exhale. The exhales will take you deeper. Your inhales will lengthen the spine. Okay? So such small movements that I won't see it, your breath will be the one that guides you here. Three more. One more, make it good. All right, come on back up to seated. Okay. Hands bracing behind you, pedal out the, bend the knees, one knee and then the other, pedal out the feet a little here. Okay. And then we're coming into cobbler's pose. So soles of the feet together and letting the knees open up. Stick cushions under the knees for a little support if you like here. So coming into cobbler's pose, but we're going to sit upright and just let gravity over time stretch out the inner thighs here. Grab a hold of your straps. We're going to add on a tricep stretch as well, and maybe cow face arms. Okay, so I'm going to turn my back to you so that you can see what's going on with the arms. But you'll be bending your right elbow And we'll start with a tricep stretch. You can use your left hand to hold onto the elbows, so you can get stretched through that tricep, okay? The right tricep. Now you can stay right here, but if you think you want to try that full eagle arm stretch, you grab a hold of the strap with that right hand, the same thing. And then your left arm will reach out, thumbs down, bring it across the low back, and you're looking for that strap. Okay? So it might be quite far apart. Some of you, if your shoulder feels healthy, you can come into more of a full stretch. You can even find the hands. You might not need a strap here. So wherever you end up, you are sitting quite upright. So tendency is to want to bow forward. You're lifting up to the chest, so you're sitting upright. Hold it here. 2 more. And 1. Okay, release that. Get the shoulders, the shoulder a little roll out, shake it off a little. And if you want to stretch those legs, you can simply stretch them out. We just keep them there. But we'll head it right over to the other side. So for this one, if you're using a strap, you're holding onto the strap with the left hand. You're getting that tricep stretch. Again, you can stay right here. If you're going to try your calf-raised arms, reach your right arm out, thumbs down, and then bring that arm across the low back to look for the strap. And try your best to sit quite upright. Keep the breath flowing. Slow down the exhales. 1 more. Nice. Okay, release. The straps can go off to one side now. And just help those knees come back together, feet down, hands bracing behind you so that you can let those knees drop side to side. Good. Okay. Next, we're going to come down onto our backs. And before you come all the way down, in case you can't see me, we're going to do eagle arms on our back. So for that one, when you're on your back, you'll be trying to break one elbow under the other and maybe palms together. The thumbs will be pointed towards your face for that one. If you have a hard time doing that, backs of the hands pressing together is fine. If your biceps and shoulders are really tight, you can even grab opposite shoulders. So we're coming down onto our backs for this one. Knees bent, feet flat on the ground, coming into eagle arms. So wrapping one elbow under the other, it doesn't matter which one, and maybe palms together, maybe not, that's fine. Elbows lift up about a little higher, a little closer here towards your face, elbows closer towards your face. And then pressing the forearms away from you as well. Okay. Good. And we're pushing the forearms away from the face. You feel your shoulders lift off the mat, that's fine. 2. And 1, release. And then just make sure when you wrap the other way, it's the other elbow under. So just kind of see what's under, and then we'll do the same thing. Okay. Elbows a little closer towards the face. Then press the forearms away from you. You want to feel your shoulders lift off the mat so the shoulder blades are spreading away from one another. Hold it there. And release. Okay, back to that first side. So just give it a little shake off, and then we'll swap again, opposite elbow under. Okay. And then doesn't matter which one, but cross one leg on top of the other. And you can stay right there, or bring the elbow towards the knee and knee towards the elbow. Okay, you can do this with the foot down as well, doesn't matter. 2. And 1. And it's going to take some care, but just swap all those around. And we'll do exactly the same thing. Okay, squeeze the belly in, elbow towards the knee, knee towards the elbow. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. And then uncross everything and stretch your feet and toes in opposite direction. So a nice stretch to the belly. Good, one more. And then release all of that. Okay, so we are going to do our figure 4 stretch again. So for this one, we'll bring the right ankle on top of your left thigh. And if you're feeling a little bit more limber now, maybe you can hang on to the back of that left thigh. You interlace your fingers here. And if it feels good, a little bit of movement, drawing circles with that leg, with both legs. And if it doesn't, just stay steady and just stay still. That's fine too. But oftentimes this feels nice, just a little bit of movement in one direction and then the next. Good. And let's release that and switch that around. And some movement, a little rocking and rolling. And then switching directions. And release, bringing both feet down onto the ground. And then some windshield wipers once again, letting the knees just drop side to side. And then we'll do one more bridge pose. So I'm holding it here for 5 breaths if you can. So for our bridge pose, feet about hips width apart. Okay? And make it a good one. You feel the stretch the front of the body for this one. So pushing down to the feet. If you've never done this before, you could interlace the fingers under the hip, but if that doesn't feel right, try grabbing a hold of the edges of the mat. Edges of the mat. It gives you the opportunity to pick the hips up a little higher, pushing a little stronger into your feet. And then try pushing the feet away from your shoulders as well. So a little push of the feet downwards to the bottom of the mat. Maybe gives you a little bit more lift. You'll feel stronger, a stronger stretch at the front of the hips. So hold it here. A couple more breaths if you can. And then pushing into those big toes. You're feeling those inner arches pushing in as well. One more. And then very slowly, take your time. Shoulders downwards. You're rolling down the spine from the shoulders down to the mid back, to the low back, and all the way down. Hips down, belly relaxes. Let those knees drop towards one another. Just a moment here. Let go. All right. So if you have a favorite twist that you'd rather do, please do that one instead. We're doing a final twist on our backs. So you certainly can follow along with me. If you have another one that you'd rather do, please do that one instead. So arms are stretched out about shoulder height. Knees are still bent here, feet on the ground. You'll pick your hips slightly off the mat, enough to bump the hips over to the right side of the mat so that the left hip can tuck under. That way, as you let both knees drop towards the left, your spine is still in that straight line, even as a twist. Okay, so spine straight up and down with a twist. And then you can turn your chin over to the opposite shoulder. And then let the body relax. Deep breaths. Slow exhales. All right. And then come on back to the center, back to the middle. Hips back to the center for a moment, and then same thing, opposite side. Pick your hips slightly off the mat. Bump your hips to the left so that the right hip tucks under, and the knees to the right, chin to the left. All right, inhale, come on back to the middle, back to the center. Hip centers, knees in for a hug and a roll out. Any other final poses that you like to take. And make sure you're very comfortable. We are coming into Shavasana in a moment, so you do want to make sure that you are not too cold. You have your blankets, your jackets, your sweaters with you. And then when you're ready, you can dim down the light as well. It's a little bright in your room, just dim it down and just come on down to your back, close your eyes, find even body, like nicely spread out, an even body on your back. Close your eyes. Then let the body grow heavy and sink deep. And you don't need to hold yourself up. Let the floor support you. Just feel yourself melt into your space. And with comfortable body and a relaxed mind, enjoy your Shavasana. Enjoy peace. Slowly, peacefully, and calmly make your way back onto your mat and onto your space. Take your deeper breaths and your longer exhales. Wake up the body with those small movements, your fingers, your toes, your wrists and ankles. Let the head drop side to side. And if you'd like to take that big stretch, reach your arms overhead, stretch nice and long from toes to fingers, toes to fingertips, a big stretch, and then exhale to release and let it go. Perhaps one more hug of the knees into the chest. Make that a good roll out. And then when you're ready, come on back up to seated. Take your time though. Yeah. And in a moment, to close off our class as a group, we will be taking a big inhale in through the nose and then just a huge sigh, a big exhale out to the mouth. And when you're ready, let's do that together. Inhale, a big thank you very much, and namaste.